Hey everybody, we are back with another review, and today we got a stash can idea I wanted to share with you. So without further ado, let's hop right into this review. So today we have a little stash can product which actually works really well. This particular product right here is something that could be a little bit outdated, if you will, just because a lot of vehicles nowadays do not have a cigarette lighter included in the vehicle, let alone as an available option for you to purchase when you buy the car itself. A lot of the times they used to, I think back in the early 2000s, you could buy a vehicle and you had an option to add one of these. It just wasn't an included option. So keep that in mind though when you're going through this. So if you have an older vehicle, you might not actually have one of these available for you to have an area for you to have a stash can. Now, normally on the bottom here, this would be like a coil, which actually connects directly to the battery and it allows it to heat up, which is what basically you're doing when you vaporize using a RDA vaporizer. It's got a coil on it, and basically what that coil is doing is it lights up the end like this, red hot, and you basically just touch that to the end of your cigarette or whatever you're trying to light. But this one just has a chrome one, so obviously if you pull it out and look at it, it's going to look not authentic. It's not going to look like an actual cigarette lighter. But if this is just sitting, and a lot of cigarette lighters are covered up or hidden inside the ashtray. But if this is just plugged in, you're going to look immediately past this. You're not going to be, focused on this and thinking like, oh yeah, that looks really fake right there. No, it looks authentic. It looks super authentic. And even if you pulled it out a little bit, you could see that it's even chrome on the side. It looks like metal, but it's plastic. This is plastic. This is plastic. And the whole thing's plastic pretty much, which makes it very difficult to actually unscrew and screw itself in because the plastic is so thin and the threading that they used is so thin. But the nice thing about the tight threading that they use on this, the cap isn't loose. You're not going to get a loose cap. Here, let's screw it back in and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So when this is fully tightened down, you don't have a loose cap, which is what is a nice quality about it. If you had a thicker thread, it would have room to move. It would be a loose little cap, and that's not going to be authentic. So at least they used a tight cap, which is nice. And then there you go. You got yourself a little stash can in there. Now, in there, it's a little plastic insert, which basically can hold a couple pills, some gems. You could have some paper in there wadded up, because you also have some room here in the tip of the lighter itself. But the total area of space that you actually have to work with, I'll show you. Let's screw this back up and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So the area that you actually have to work with in this particular tube is going to be from this dash to the end cap here. So basically just around an inch of space in there. So if you could fold something up or wad something up really tiny and put it in there, you could potentially hide some money in there, or you can hide some gems, or if you needed to hide some emergency pills or something like that inside your vehicle, this is a great place to hide them where no one's going to be able to, stumble upon them, find them, and just keep them. But yeah, it's got a little insert in there which holds your product pretty nice. Let's see if we can move it around in there. No, that's pretty much welded, or not welded in there, it's inset in there though, into the threading, which shows it can't really be removed, but it doesn't feel like there's any room underneath it. So I imagine that is the absolute bottom of the canister. It was that little dip right there in the middle that you see right there, that little dip. That was what was throwing me off, making me think there was more room under there. But it doesn't feel like there is, so I don't really want to fuss with taking that out right now. But you do have about an inch of space in there, so you could potentially hide some items in there, some smaller items. Again, it's a cigarette lighter. Concealed little stash can. It's nothing that's crazy big. I do like reviewing some stash cans on the channel because I do find these things interesting and they're kind of relatable to the culture. Now again, it's, you're hiding stuff that you don't want people to know about. I should at least share some of the technology that's out there are actually pretty decent. And this is definitely one of the ones that I found that's probably on the better scale of fake cans or stash cans or can safes, whatever you want to call them. And I'll share a few others with you guys on the channel as we go along as well. But this one was definitely something that needed to be shared. So again, It's an amazing little stash can. It's something that's easily overlooked when it's in a vehicle, especially when you have something this is plugged into something and it's covered up. No one would even think twice to look at it. If it's something that's in viewable area, someone eventually might think that it's a little wonky because of these seams on the side, potentially, and they might think it might be fake, or they might just dismiss it. But the minute that this gets pulled out, it's revealably fake. You can definitely tell that this definitely looks a little bit fake once you pull it out and you see that there's no coil on the end here. Although to the untrained eye, they might just think it's a new age type of cigarette lighter, or one that hasn't been used yet. It might not have that dark coil on there because maybe it hasn't been used, and that maybe it's a new type of coil. I'm not too particularly sure. It's hard to predict what people are going to think when they see this. But in regards to the older coil style, this definitely doesn't look like one of those. But it once it's plugged in, though, I mean, you can't even really tell the difference. So, and the concealment of it is really what's most important, I think, when it comes to stash cans. You want something that's going to be easily overlooked, that's hidden in plain sight, and that has everything that you need hidden securely and confidently away. So, if you have tried the cigarette lighter stash can, let us know what you thought of in the comments below. And if you have any other ones that you happen to like other different types of ways to stash things and hide things, let us know in the comments below, and we'll check them out and review those products on the channel. So if you like this review, give it a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, subscribe for more. I do smoking reviews every single day, so you better look out for that, and have a great rest of your day.